Hey, I'm Mindie Kniss. A massive thank you to you for being here. To those of you who are new, I am stoked that you are here. Thank you so much for your subscription. That truly does mean the world to me and really to any content creator out there that is creating free stuff for you to learn and grow. And the ways that you can give back is by subscribing, by liking, by commenting, by sharing. And so, for all of you that do that, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am truly grateful. So, what I want to talk about today is timing. All of us. I don't care whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are a trader, whether you are whatever it is that you are doing. Most of us, I would say almost all of us, have this idea that things should be going faster than they go. And mostly I'm talking about our goals. I know that there's a piece of paper that I wrote in college. My theology teacher had us write down, like, in 5 years, I will have done this. And in 10 years, I will have done this. And if you would read my list, like, it was crazy. I mean, Nobel Peace Prizes, like New York Times bestselling author, published multiple books, traveled to, dozens and dozens of countries. Most of those things I have not done. Okay. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine from grad school, Katie Schultz, who is a fantastic writer. I'll tag her in the post below. She and I were emailing back and forth, and I was saying, what's so crazy to me is that back in the day when we were in grad school, so I was there from 2007 to 2009. And we were in writing school. So we were doing our Master of Fine Arts in creative writing. And she and I were both in the nonfiction crew. So at that time, I thought that my big life story was spending the time in East Africa that I did when I was living and working over there. So I was writing like this massive memoir, this like three act play kind of of my life. And that was the big story. Like, that was the big thing. That was the experience that I had to share at that time. What's completely bananas to me now, looking at it from today, 2025, looking back across all of those years, when I was there in grad school, I was just starting my coaching business. So for the first year of grad school, I still had a regular full-time job. So my bills were paid, everything was lovely, and I was just going to school part-time. And then a year later, I had left my corporate job, but none of my financial challenges had shown up yet because I still had a lot of money from my previous employment. So I was good financially. I also had not met my husband, Sean, yet at that time. So the things that transpired post graduating from that MFA program in 2009, I met Sean. I got married to Sean. I ended up losing all of my money and filing for bankruptcy. I had to learn how to do marketing and sales as an entrepreneur and a coach to grow my business, which I then did successfully. Fast forward, Sean passes away in 2019, like 10 years after I was writing this, big life story. And then from that point forward, I've had to restart again, essentially. I hadn't even thought about the stock market back then. Today, I'm a day trader. Like, this is crazy to me how I thought that that was like my one story, my one, big ticket to writer fame, whatever that might look like. And yet, so much has happened since then. The book proposal that I have into Hay House right now is the whole story that was past grad school. It was, failing in my business, having to rebuild, rising like a phoenix from the ashes of that experience that I had created for myself around money. It was meeting Sean, marrying Sean, the wild romantic adventure that we had for a number of years. It was, growing my business. It was his death. Like, so much has happened. And I just got to thinking, you know what? I'm so glad that I didn't publish or put out that initial book that I was planning to, or that I was writing in grad school. Like I thought that was the thing. It wasn't the thing. It's a thing, not to discount it, but it's not like the thing. And the reality is like even all this other stuff the last decade or so also isn't the thing. It's one of the things. And so when we think about timing, we all like want our goals to come true yesterday. You know, we all want to reach, whether it's health and fitness for you, maybe there's an ideal weight that you're looking at, or, you know, a clothing size that you want to fit into, whatever it might be. There could be health targets that you are eyeing as your, you know, your next steps forward. In relationships, it might be getting with someone, it may be getting out of a relationship, it could be anything. And certainly in business, trading, you know, anything around money, we all want it all already. However, that conversation with Katie really made me rethink this idea that like everything is on time. Now, it's not necessarily the time that we would choose, but we are not necessarily the wisest with our very, very, very tiny perspective of time as a whole. Like, it's probably good that we don't get to choose those things. Now, I know that a lot of people will disagree. They're like, no, no, no. Like, I could take winning the lottery tomorrow or whatever it may be. But the reality is, even if you were to win the lottery tomorrow and you're like, sweet, I'm golden, everything's good, I will have no more problems in life. That's simply not true. Studies have shown that a lot of lottery winners go on to lose that money. Why? Because they haven't done the inner work to get to where they need to be able to hold energetically that amount of money, whatever that amount is. I mean, at one point in my life, I wasn't even able to hold energetically like $100. And that was not a great situation to be in. I've had to grow my ability to hold larger amounts of money over time, but it takes time. Another example that I want to give you is I used to run a service where I would like set up your whole business for anyone that wanted to become a coach. And they were like, okay, well, what do I need? I need a website. I need an opt in form. I need something, you know, to give the people that they opt in, um, all the stuff. And I was like, you know what? All that stuff is kind of a pain in the ass, quite honestly, to set up and create, especially if you're not super skilled at tech. Now, these days, it is way easier. So, congratulations, all of you that are getting involved in online business, because when I started, it's totally different, like so much easier today. But still, there are people who maybe wouldn't choose to spend their time and energy creating that stuff. So I was like, great, if you have some money, I have the skill, I can make the stuff for you. You can pay me the money, energetic exchange, perfect. Except that everybody, I won't say everybody, almost everybody that I did that for did not go on to actually run that business that I had essentially set up on their behalf. Now, at first that frustrated me. I was like, gosh, like why did I just spend all of this time, all this energy? Like, yes, I got paid for it, so cool, thank you. But to then like not have any of it actually be utilized, like that just felt like a waste of energy. So it came to me, okay, it's kind of like a bird breaking out of their eggshell when they're hatching, when they're being born. There is this idea that they need the struggle of that, or maybe a butterfly is a better example. I don't know the science behind these things, but same concept. The butterfly, when it's breaking out of its chrysalis, it needs to go through that struggle, that physical struggle to break out of the thing in order to develop the strength to fly. And I think it's the same thing with these people that I created their business for them. They didn't go through that initial struggle. And I was like trying to save them from having to do that. But I feel like because of that, they didn't maybe have the strength to actually pursue that dream, even though it was all like literally all done for them and ready to go. Now, that might not be the case, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. So, again, it's about this timing thing. I could give someone, hey, here's your business ready to go, like that. But without the timing of their own development, their own entrepreneurial mind, they weren't able to hold that business. So, just some things to think about. I am reminding myself that the timing is always perfect. Again, it might not be exactly what we like or what we're expecting, but there's so much that is going on behind the scenes that we never will know about. And maybe even future things. Like I didn't know when I was in grad school that I would have met Sean and all the adventures that we would have had. And I mean, all the crazy things. I couldn't have known any of that. And now I'm like, whoa, I thought, I'm so far behind because now I'm in grad school and I was in my late 20s at the time. And okay, like I need to get this done because other people around me were, writing books and they were much, much, much younger and publishing books. Okay, that wasn't my same timeline. That's okay. And it's okay wherever you are at. What I have found the best way to co create with time is to be fully present in the now and not necessarily worried about the past, worried about the future, just like here, present, and to find that source of gratitude in the here and now. Again, not being like, oh, like I'm so far behind. Everybody else is passing me by and I'll never get all this stuff done. You're right. You never will get all the things done. That's okay. What are you going to do right now? Focus on right now. Focus on what you have to be grateful for right now. And I would guess that that would begin to start to shift your perspective of time. If any of this resonates with you, I would love to hear your comments down below. I'm Mindie Kniss. Thanks so much for watching.